Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, May the 18th. It is about 8 o'clock. I am on my way to Starbucks right now to pick up a beverage because this is a day that I have been dreading for about a week or so. When I realized what today was going to look like, I will be in a Zoom meeting of some sort for about 7 hours today in total. I have a social studies training from 8:30 to 11:30. And then I have a round of leadership interviews from 11:30 to 1:30. And then I have the second round from 2:30 to 4:30. So it's going to be a long day in front of the computer. It's going to be a challenge to close my stand rings today on my watch because I'll be sitting most of that time, but I'll have to force myself to get up. But that's what's going to happen today. I didn't vlog at all last week, and I didn't upload yesterday. I thought I was going to be able to do a middle school versus elementary school video and have that ready for you this past Sunday, but that just didn't happen. I did not realize how exhausted I would be after every day of leadership interviews. The interviews themselves are going well. It's been nice to interact with students I've really never met before and just kind of figure out their personalities and see if they would be a good fit for leadership. But it is, like, I think mentally just taxing, I guess is what it is. So last week I was really off. I don't think I ran at all last week, now that I think about it. And by the time Friday came, my brain literally was hurting. It was just like, that's the best way I can describe it, is my brain was hurting, and it still kind of is, just not as much as it was. So this week I am going to vlog. I think the plan is I am going to vlog and upload on Sunday, especially because this is my last week of my first year as a middle school teacher, even though it's ending not in the way that I wanted it to. It is my last week, and then maybe the following week I will upload the elementary versus middle school video because I'm all ready for that. I have the questions that people ask through Instagram. I just haven't filmed it yet. So as far as this week's vlog, I'm not exactly sure what it's going to look like and how much footage I'll be able to take because, as I just said, most of today I will be in a Zoom call. So, I mean, I'm not really going to be vlogging too much of that. And then tomorrow is the same thing, with the exception of the training. I'll be in leadership interviews, and that will be 11:30 to 1:30 and 2:30 to 4:30. And then after that, I really need to focus on, there's like nobody at Starbucks right now. This is just fantastic. I really need to focus on making my decision about the leadership class.
Hi, thank you for choosing Starbucks. Can we start any food items today?
No, thank you.
What can I get for you?
I will take a venti vanilla sweet cream cold brew with 2 Splendas and a little extra cream, and that's it.
And a little extra cream?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Alright, that's $4.25.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Nobody's here. Nobody. Which is great. Yeah, so after the interviews, I really do need to focus on making sure I know who I'm going to include in that class and who I'm not, because I have to let them know by Thursday, so I'm cutting it close by ending it on Tuesday. And there, as far as distance learning, there are no more online lessons. Like the kids are turning in all their devices. Not that they have multiple, but they're turning in the devices that they borrowed from the district this week. So the requirement was that we had to provide a lesson or an option for them that was non-tech based. Now, that is a little bit flawed because the way for me to communicate my non-tech based lesson is through technology. Like, they have to go on the school's website or go to Google Classroom to see it. So they have technology, or we're assuming they have technology to access it, but we're assuming they don't have technology to do it. I don't know. But that was what we had to do. So what I chose to give them was something very simple that I had gotten off of Teachers Pay Teachers that really I intended to use for my leadership class next year. And essentially it just walks them through the steps of maybe making a bucket list for themselves. So in my directions on Google Classroom, I said, you know, you're getting ready to transition to the next phase of your life. So this is a great opportunity for you to set a bucket list for yourself. And it gives them a few different options, like by the time I'm this age, I want to do this, or I want to do these 18 things, or in the next 52 weeks I want to do this, or by the end of high school I want to do that. So I gave them all those options. So that's what I provided. So my plan is right now to pick up this drink and then make some breakfast and then go to this training and then be on the computer.
Hi. 425.
Thank you.
Nice day.
You too. So yeah, that's what's on the agenda, and God is watching over me right now because I really needed that Starbucks trip to be fast because I need to make some breakfast before this meeting starts. So I'm gonna make myself some eggs and toast and eat it while attending this meeting. So that's what's up. So overall, I think what I was trying to say during the tail end of that is that this week's vlog might be short and sweet because I don't know how much footage I will be taking just based on what I'll be doing, but you'll get something. You'll get a little bit of something. Oh, you'll definitely get something because my Peloton bike comes this Friday, so you'll see that at least. So all right, talk to you later today when I get a break from sitting at a computer screen. Hi. I'm just so excited to be talking to this camera because there was a moment today where I thought my vlogging days were over because my memory card, or the camera kept saying there was a memory card error no matter what memory card I put in there. And then I just said, you know what, camera? I'm gonna just let you rest for a minute and then we'll come back and see if that works, and it did. So I believe that I vlogged on the way to Starbucks, or at Starbucks this morning. That was just before 8:30. It is now about 5 o'clock. And I successfully made it through my 7 hours worth of Zoom calls today. The social studies training was actually pretty good. It was just us looking at the social studies framework and just talking about how to reframe our minds as social studies teachers and really start thinking of ourselves more as history teachers, which is a goal that I had started personally setting for myself, because there is a difference, like psychologically for me, there is a difference when I refer to myself as a social studies teacher versus a history teacher. When I think of myself as a history teacher, I just feel the need to be more thorough and in depth and like really just kind of become an expert in the subject matter that I have to teach. So it kind of talked about that and the 3 different approaches that we could take to looking at the frameworks. One relies heavily on our current textbook, which is very outdated. One relies on thinking of themes, and one relies on looking at overarching questions and just kind of designing your instruction around that. But it really talked about like teaching your students to become active citizens in society and, you know, really promoting like an idea of activism. Now, I asked someone, does the district really want me to teach activism? Because for some people that's a very loaded word. And so that person said, I think you might want to just talk about being active citizens or citizenship, because that is the way it's framed in the framework. So it was really good. The time went by fast. It was on Zoom. I had my camera off and I was muted most of the time, which helped if I needed to stand up, if I needed to. Honestly, I had to multitask at one point because I thought I had my Zoom call set up for my leadership meetings that were going to start right after that, and I didn't. So I had to like multitask, and so it was good that I had the camera off, because if they had seen me on camera, they would have saw that I was, you know, doing something else off to the side. And then right after that, I left that and then went into my 2 rounds of leadership interviews today. I know I didn't vlog at all last week because I was really consumed by the leadership interviews. Today and tomorrow I have to do them, but I have a little bit more time. But generally speaking, since I've been talking about this for the past couple of vlogs, I feel like they are going very smoothly. Like, my anxiety about the interviews was really just not knowing if what my brain thought would work was going to work in real life, and luckily it has. So just to put it in a nutshell, I do 2 rounds a day. On average, there's 6 students per round. It is task-based. They have 5 tasks that they have to complete within the 2-hour time frame, and 2 of those tasks we do together. One's a team builder, one is a more traditional interview where I'm asking them a few questions about themselves, and then the rest they do on their own, and they're just working individually. That's Riley scratching the carpet. That's just never gonna move, but he's diligent in that effort. The rest of the time, they're working independently, and I can see them at all times because they know they have to keep their camera on. The smartest thing that I did in this process was enlist the help of 2 highly responsible, highly reliable, high-functioning 8th graders that are in leadership now and also are in my homeroom class. So they have been real troopers, and they have shown up every single day from 11:30 to 1:30 and then 2:30 to 4:30, and they have just been like amazing at taking notes, and really like taking good notes. The notes they're taking are the same notes I'm taking, giving me their feedback of what they see. So like when I create a breakout room to interview one candidate with one of the 8th graders who's just there listening and taking notes, the other 8th grader is staying in the main room and just watching kids and seeing how they work and whether or not they communicate. And I have the 2 girls like swap roles so that they both get to do both jobs, and they've just been great. I really don't know that I would have been able to do this as smoothly and seamlessly had I not had these 2 girls helping me. So that's been great. And so what I do is we interview them, and then at the end of each session we do a quick debrief, and we kind of sort them into a absolute yes, like they're in leadership hands down, an absolute no, like this just doesn't seem to be a good fit for this student, and a maybe pile. So as of right now, I have about 14 students that are absolute yeses, like unless they change their mind, they're in. I don't know how many no's, but it is my smallest stack, just absolute no's, like it's just not a good fit for different reasons. And then the biggest stack is the maybes, and the maybes are still gonna be ranked based on the tasks that they complete. So I've printed out like all the things they've been asked to do, and that will be what I kind of use to sift through that maybe pile and maybe rank the maybe pile. And then there's a stack of no-shows. So every day on average there's 1 to 2 students who just don't show up for whatever reason. Maybe they forget, maybe they change their mind, but I make sure to write no-show on theirs. And then any student who doesn't make it, I will shift or forward their information to the yearbook teacher if that student said, I am also interested in yearbook. So I should be done tomorrow. And then Wednesday, much of the day is going to be spent making some decisions. And then I've told the kids that they will hear from me one way or the other on Thursday. Right now, what I'm thinking is I will email the kids that don't make it and just give them like a standard statement. And then the kids that do make it, I might require them to meet with me on Zoom or Google Meet, because those kids, I want them to be signed up for Remind like right away, because I don't really know what things are going to look like. And Remind might be a very necessary tool going forward. So I met some really great kids, great personalities. The ones that are absolute no's, generally like they just seem a little too shy, or didn't come prepared, didn't do a lot of things that they were asked to do ahead of time. But yeah, so I'm just in my office resting, watching some Judge Judy, and that's it. So I don't know, I'm gonna cook, well, I'm supposed to cook dinner tonight. I don't know if I will, because what ends up happening after these days is I'm really tired and then I don't, but I'm gonna try to because I need to. So if I'm up to it, I will vlog that process for you. Good morning. It's about 10:40. I am in the process of making myself some breakfast. I like to call it a basic breakfast: eggs, toast, and then I have some bacon baking. Let me put you on a paper towel so I can multitask. I have another day where I will be, excuse me, another day, oh dear, okay. There, you're on top of paper towels. You're not gonna see my face, but you're gonna hear my voice. I have another day of a lot of time on Zoom. I had to actually change the interview times for leadership today because there's, I mean, I don't want to call it last minute. I was supposed to have a try IEP for a student when school was in session, and then obviously that didn't happen. So we are having it today, but that was just something that came about in the last couple of days. And it's an IEP that I really want to attend to make sure I help give my feedback and input to support the student. So that's happening at 11, and normally I do my interview starting at 11:30, but I felt like 30 minutes was cutting it close. So I shifted or pushed the interview times back to noon. So noon to 2, and then 3 to 5, which is a lot, but the good news is that this is my last day of leadership interviews. So I will be done with that. So I'll be going from the IEP to the interviews more than likely. And as soon as I finish, I believe I'm going to be calling the yearbook teacher at school, because a lot of the kids will apply for both leadership and yearbook, but they can only do one because they are both year-long electives at school. And so we just kind of cross-reference maybe kids that I'm saying no to, but that would be a good fit for yearbook, or vice versa. So we're gonna try and talk that out, because I really need to have everything finalized by Thursday, because Thursday is the last day of school, and Thursday is the day that I have to let them know. So that's where I'm at right now. So far this morning, I actually had to get up a little bit earlier. I had some errands to run. I had to get some dog food. I had to go to the bank. Got all that done. So I'm getting ready to eat this breakfast and go upstairs for another day on Zoom. Walk. Genesis is resting. I think she just like hurt her leg at some point. She's been fine most of the day, so she's fine now. I tried to tuck her in on the couch and let her rest her leg, but she was having none of that. So I'm home. I'm getting ready to cook dinner. It's later than what I would like, but that is like the story of my life at this point. But tonight I am going to be cooking miso honey salmon. It is a 25 to 35 minute meal, so I don't think it'll take too long. Most of that time is probably just the rice cooking. So there are all the ingredients that I need. Here is the produce that I need, and there is the salmon. While I'm doing that, I'm going to be listening to this. Let me hold it up so it's less of a shadow. I'm going to be listening to Why Are All the Black Kids Sitting Together in the Cafeteria. I've never read that book before, but I've seen it recommended many times. I'm actually in a group of teachers from Instagram, I think, and some from YouTube, and we're reading that, and I'm very pleased with that, because if you follow me on Instagram, when the whole Ahmaud Arbery case went down, there was definitely a part of me that was frustrated with some of my counterparts on social media, meaning teachers that are on Instagram or YouTube and have a relatively large following and have influence because of that following, and didn't post anything about the case. And I think that it's important for educators to post about stuff like this, to show that this is an injustice that is affecting society, and it's also an injustice that in the broader picture affects how some of our kids come to school and how they interact with school and teachers and things like that. And so for me, if you are fortunate enough to have that many people following you, and you've also built your platform on how you know, see all students, and you value all backgrounds, or you teach at a Title I school and that's how you got really known, or you're into diverse books, then it's also your responsibility to speak out against something like this. And you don't have to say a lot. You don't have to get really political. Even something as simple as just posting the picture of him or posting how sad it makes you is important, especially if you are, quite frankly, a white teacher. The vast majority of the teaching force in the United States are white females, and it's important for that voice to also say, this is not okay, this is not right, this is wrong. And I think what it was about that case is that was such a clean case for a teacher to be able to do that, because in my opinion, it's not political. It had nothing to do with Black Lives Matter versus Blue Lives Matter. This was just an innocent man running in a neighborhood who was hunted down by 2 people, and it was terrible. So I feel like from that post and from some conversations I had with people, you know, people kind of responded and said, okay, let's work on educating ourselves, because we are working with these kids, and these kids will become adults in society, and we want to have a more harmonious society. And in order to do that, we have to be able to like hear and see and try and understand different perspectives. And I feel like this book is one of the ways to do that. So long story short, I was invited to participate in this group, in this book study, and I of course said yes. And so I'm listening to it so that I can be up on that. But enough about that. I'm just gonna vlog footage of me cooking. I probably won't talk because I need to focus because it's late. It's 8:30 and I should be eating by now, but this is Quarantania operating right here, and Quarantania doesn't eat at a reasonable hour. So I'm gonna put the camera down, vlog, listen, and that's it. Cooked. That one was actually nice because everything was baked, so it was passive cooking, so I was able to clean up and unpack the new Blue Apron shipment that I got today. So here is the finished product. It looks good. I'm excited. I'm hungry because I actually didn't eat lunch today. There are the leftovers for tomorrow, and with the exception of this pot that I just took the rice out of, the kitchen is clean, so I don't have to worry about that. I never eat until the kitchen is clean because I just can't enjoy my meal knowing that the kitchen is a mess. So I'm gonna eat. I might take some footage of me going through the files, but I will be talking in the vlog for the rest of the day, so I will see you tomorrow. Hello, it's Wednesday. It's almost 5 o'clock, so it's, you know, fairly progressed in the day. So today I had some errands to run earlier, went to Target, had to pick up a prescription for Genesis, stopped by the school. And when I stopped by the school, I went there to get like a couple of like random things for my classroom. And then I checked my box because I did have a parent tell me that she was going to leave a gift for me in my box, which I got. This is part of it. I haven't had a chance to open it yet because I need some scissors. I don't know what this is. I'm trying to figure it out. But I also found in the box, which I wasn't expecting, I found this very sweet hand-made card and handwritten note from a student in one of my classes. So she's very artistic, so she did this little artwork here. And it was just really sweet. I don't cry. I think I've said this before. I don't really cry much, and I don't really cry really even out of sadness. Like I just kind of internalize it. But this one got me choked up because the gist of what she was saying was thanking me for, you know, being her teacher and stuff like that. But she felt like there were times throughout the year where I talked her through some situations, like gave her some perspectives on things based on my experiences and gave her a little bit of life advice to get through middle school, and that really stuck with her, and she told me that I had like an impact on her life, and I just really appreciated it because it reiterates what I think an important role for me and really any teacher, especially a middle school teacher, is, and that is just to kind of, you know, be willing to connect with students and kind of be a support system for them without getting like overly involved in their lives, but just like being an additional person that takes an interest in their well-being as students but also as people. So that made me feel better. And then she also included this little handmade friendship bracelet that I am wearing. And I can't remember the last time I wore a friendship bracelet, but I'm happy to wear this. So that was nice, and I came home, ate something, and I just finished like putting together a little something for my last Google Meet with my 2 classes tomorrow. They're just like meets to say goodbye and wish them well, and I wanted to like have some kind of activity, so I just did some like class favorites based on things that I've observed about them over the year, impressions that I've gotten, kind of like class favorites basically. So now I need to eat something because I'm hungry once again, and I'm going to be leaving soon because my cousin's son is having a drive-by promotion parade. He's going from, I think he's actually going from 6th grade to middle school because his district middle school starts at 7th, I think. Or he might be going to 6th, I can't remember. So just driving by to support him in that. And then I'm going to come home and get everything scheduled for leadership announcements tomorrow. So that's what I've been up to so far. Nothing too exciting. So yeah, just checking in. So I'm outside of this little neighborhood area. Here's my brother and his fiance right there. My little cousin is... He's not here yet. Sorry. So this is my, am I showing you? Well, I'll flip the camera around. Anyway, I'm outside of this little park area in my cousin's neighborhood. We're waiting for my littler cousin to come. He's going to 7th grade. So my cousin and his fiance did this little setup in a common area. So I'll flip the camera around so you can see. This is what they did. This is my favorite sign, goodbye recess, hello puberty. So she just put balloons up, this congrats sign, there's his face right there. And then we're just gonna do a little parade in this little roundabout right there. Those are some of my family members. Right here. I'm gonna see if I can get Sarah on camera. She's not very shy. She's the one with the pink fanny pack, but this is her business. Very outgoing, but yeah, so we're just waiting. We're gonna give him a cheer because that's the best we can do. You want to say something as you get ready for this next stage of life? What are you looking forward to in middle school?
Going back to school.
Are you surprised?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you. It is the last day of school, you guys, and I'm at home, which it is the life we're living right now. So it is Thursday, May 21st. Today is our last day of school. The students would have had their promotion ceremony today. They will have it, but it's just digital like everyone else has been doing. But it's just weird. It's like the last day of school, and it obviously doesn't feel like the last day of school because I'm at home and none of the fun end of the year activities occurred. So that like feeling of this is the end of the school year is missing. So today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be meeting, I have 3 Zoom meetings today. I'm going to be meeting with both my home and my switch class at 11:30 and 1:30 just to say goodbye. I did finish the, I think I talked about this yesterday. I found a Teachers Pay Teachers product just so that I could use it to make like end of the year like superlatives, like some of them are like most techie, most fashionable, the nicest, things like that. Those aren't the exact categories, but along those lines, I will link that in the description box if you're looking for something like that. It was very easy. It's editable. You can print them out. You can also just have them digital. So obviously I'm doing them digital. So I'm just going to like say a few words to close the year with them, give them the awards, and then kind of just see where it goes from there. Then I have to do some other things. I have to do the end of the year checkout. My partner helped me out with some of that. And I have to like formulate a budget for leadership next year, even though I don't know what leadership's gonna look like. I think I'm just gonna function as if we're not having any rallies next year. I'm just going to, I might even tell the kids that just assume there's no rallies, and so my budget won't even be taking into consideration rallies. So right now I'm getting ready to make some breakfast before my first meet, and Yeah, happy last day of school. Okay, it is now about, I think it's actually 6:30. Yeah, it's 6:30. I thought it was 6. And I just have this weird feeling. I am done. I truly believe, and I hope beyond hope, that I am totally done with everything that I had to do by the end of the day today to close out the school year. So the last time I checked in, I think I was just about to go in to my first Zoom meeting to say goodbye to my students in my homeroom class, which I did. Not everybody showed up. Not everybody showed up, which I'm not okay with it. I wish everybody would show up, but I'm not surprised by. And then I had less students show up in my switch class, but the students that were there, we just chatted. There was like little moments of awkwardness because they were there, but they weren't really open to talking or weren't really comfortable with it. So we really just were casually talking, and I gave them their little awards. And that's pretty much it. Said goodbye to them, told them, excuse me, to make sure they stay in touch, because I really do like staying in touch with students. So that happened for both classes. And then soon after that, I did my leadership results, or I guess that's the best way to put it. So last night I sent out an email telling all the kids that applied to log on to Google Classroom today at 3 o'clock to get the results of their interview. And so so they did. And so the students that didn't make it, and my battery's gonna run out, of course it is. The students that didn't make it had a letter that was sent to them that thanked them for applying, but essentially said that they did not make it this time around. And then the students that did make it had a Zoom link, and they were told to join the meeting. And then at the meeting, I told them they made it, congratulated them, tried to orient them a little bit to leadership, and really tried to, you know, kick them off on the right foot of letting them know like they really were handpicked. And I am really looking for a diverse group of students, and they all have something to bring to the table, and that they should be proud of themselves. And very briefly told them, I don't know if we'll have rallies or anything like that next year, but very, very briefly told them one of the big things that we're going to be looking to do is to start the house system at our school, and that it's kind of a big deal because no other school in our district is doing this, and it's a big undertaking. So a lot of them seemed really excited, which was nice. I had the 8th graders that helped me with the interviews there. They congratulated them as well. And then after that, I didn't even have the brain space. Then I allowed myself to look at the clerical things that have to be done to wrap up the school year, checking out, turning things in, sending in reports, all of that. I think I've gotten that done. And then what I just finished doing is I had to give like a pie in the sky budget for leadership next year, which didn't take me a long time because I had done some research earlier in the school closure thing. And so I just had to find it. So honestly, how do I feel? I feel like weird. Like I said this morning, it's the last day of school, but it didn't really feel like it. And I also feel like I want to cry. Not because I'm sad, and I am sad, but as I've said before, I cry out of stress and frustration. And I think over the past 2 weeks, I've been so consumed by just getting things done that I haven't really acknowledged how overwhelmed I have been and how stressed I have been. And when I finished, I think it just the realization of all that hit me, and then I just felt like I needed to cry to get the feeling out. So I still feel that way. I'm gonna go on a walk right now, and hopefully that will help. I'm not gonna take the dogs because Jenny's legs are acting up, and I don't want the stress of dealing with them outside right now, which sounds very bad, but it's true. So I don't think I'm gonna vlog anymore for the day because I need to like turn myself off. But tomorrow should be very exciting. My Peloton bike arrives, and we are also going to do like a little drive-by retirement party for my old co-worker Cindy. So if you've been following these vlogs since the beginning, Cindy was the little short lady. She doesn't mind me calling her that because I would give her a hard time, from my old school, that when I taught with Liza and Cindy, and she popped up in a few vlogs. So she's retiring this year. So we're gonna go out and celebrate her with the car parade. And my Peloton bike is coming tomorrow. So tomorrow's a big day, and I don't have work stuff that I have to do. Like tomorrow is gonna be the first day of just relaxation. So I'm gonna say good evening, good night. It's not night, but it's like evening, and I will see you tomorrow. So I'm standing outside my house right now because my Peloton bike is here. Oh, I believe what happens is they are going to assemble it right outside my door, and then I have to get it upstairs and put it together, but I think it comes in like 2 pieces and then I just have to set it up. But I'm so excited. Happy first day of summer to me. There it is.
You do have your toolkit here with your power outlet. It does connect on the back of the bike there. And once you do, hold the power button behind the console for about 5 to 10 seconds. It'll turn on. It'll prompt you step by step, Wi-Fi information, personal information.
And then that little activation code they text you is the code that you need to like
We left that activation code on there as well. So if it does tell you to enter that personal information, it'll ask you for the activation code.
Okay.
Maintenance is pretty easy. After each ride, you just want to wipe off the frame.
Okay.
You don't want sweat to build up on there. That will cause rust over time. Have you used the Peloton bike before?
No.
First time?
I've spun before, but I've not used the bike before.
You'll love it.
I think so. That's why I'm excited.
Yeah, no, I get you. Really fun, definitely. How long was the turnaround?
A month exactly, yeah.
We've been getting orders like crazy lately.
I know, because we don't know when the gym's open.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I feel like no one's gonna really go to the gym for a while.
I know.
It's gonna be a while.
You do have 3 points of adjustment. Seat height, lefty loosey. Lift it up to your measurement. You want it right at your hip. Tighten it up. Seat depth. Loosen it up, and then you'll be able to move it back and forth.
Okay.
And handlebar height.
Okay.
Bike is ready to go.
Great. Mike.
We're all ready.
And there's a step, yeah.
It does have wheels in the front, so you can
for the next 24 hours.
prop it like a dog and roll it around.
Scratch your eyes out. Andy was really good TV. Well, therein lies the problem. Ride this out in the Sharon Airs tomorrow. We'll be looking at a whole new you. But until then, don't show your face.
That's good. Other than that,
Okay.
it's all set up and
All
ready to
right.
go.
Did you have any other questions besides that?
I don't think so. One thing I read said take the screen
Yeah,
off.
it would be best to take the screen off.
Okay.
There is a screw right here. We leave you a bag of tools.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be the thickest one in there. Allen screw here. Loosen it up. Untie this. And unplug here. And then you just slides right off.
Okay.
So I would do recommend taking it off. It's way easier.
Yeah.
And then once you get it up there, you can just slide it back in and do the exact same thing.
Thank you.
The cable stays
Thanks.
with the bike when you detach it.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.
Enjoy, bye.
Bye. All right, you guys, it is now about 6 o'clock. I've been home from Cindy's retirement car parade for a while. It went really well. Got to say hi to her really quick. She looked like she was very appreciative of everyone that showed up. And then I headed home because I was excited to set up this bike. And I just finished doing that. The setup was very easy. At first I was a little nervous because I couldn't get the bike to connect to the Wi-Fi. I didn't think it was an issue with the bike. I really thought it was an issue with my Wi-Fi, but it turns out it was an issue with Latanya's brain. I could not remember my Wi-Fi password, so I had to call AT&T to get my memory refreshed. Once that was done, it was like I was done within a couple of minutes, so I'm all set up. Here is my profile. There I am. If you have a Peloton bike, please follow me so that we could support each other. And as far as what it looks like in the office, let's see. Here it is set up. Don't mind the tripod, that won't be there, but it's just right next to my desk. I did get the mat because I know that I tend to sweat a lot and I didn't really want sweat to be in the carpet. Plus it was a part of the package that I got. And as far as the other things, actually, let me go downstairs so I can show you what else came into the package, or came with the package. I'll take you down my dark stairway and hope I don't trip in the process. So I believe under normal circumstances there is a delivery fee, but because of the coronavirus, COVID-19, whatever you're calling it, they were delivering them but not bringing them in, and I think that's why there was no delivery fee, which is nice of them to be reasonable that way. But the basic package, you really just get the bike, which is useless, but because I was getting $100 off and there was no delivery fee, I got $100 off because I used someone's code. I got the weights, and the mat was a part of the package, and I also got just the shoes from Peloton because when I looked on Amazon, they were essentially going to be the same in cost once I added everything together. So here are the shoes that come with it. I think I read that they run a little small, so I ordered a size up. So I think I'm all set up and I'm ready to go. So I am super excited. I need to put the camera down right now because I do need to make a phone call before it gets too late because someone's waiting for me to call them. And my goal is to do my first ride tonight. And there's no reason why I can't because I can do it anytime that I want. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. But can you tell that I'm excited? It's the best first day of summer I've had in a long time. And I got another package in the mail that I'm excited about. And if I have time, I'll show it to you. But if not, you'll see it at the beginning of next week for sure. So let me go make this phone call. Just finished making that phone call. It is now 6:20-ish or so. I just was upstairs also admiring the Peloton bike. And I think what I'm gonna do, I think I will make just separate independent videos about the bike. Like, you know, just my first impressions. I think you have a 30-day trial where you can test it out and you can return it in 30 days if you're not happy with it for whatever reason. I don't anticipate that happening, but my intention is to do some kind of like standalone video about the Peloton because I know a lot of people that I've talked to have been in my shoes where you keep going back and forth on it. Is it worth it? Do I want to spend that money? And all of that. So I know that I personally watched a ton of those videos before I went ahead and bought it, and I found them very helpful to me when I was trying to make the decision as to whether I was going to get one or not. But I'm just excited that it's up there, and I think I'm going to just try a beginner ride before I go to bed to make sure I know how to do everything, make sure my shoes fit, all of that. And I'm going to cook when I finish this, recording this clip. And I almost feel like I didn't really sufficiently wrap up the school year or wrap up my thoughts about the school year, about this being my first year teaching middle school. And the reason for that is that I feel like I'm going to debrief a lot of that or share a lot of that information in the sit down video that I'm planning to do and have uploaded next week. So, and I think I was just in such a weird headspace yesterday that I couldn't even articulate how I was feeling, aside from saying it just was weird. It was the last day of school, but it didn't feel like the last day of school. And I think I was just so focused on the relief of not having to try and get so many things done within the day that I just couldn't put my thoughts together. But I will say it felt good to wake up this morning, not have anything to worry about aside from going to my friend's retirement party retirement parade, and then just anticipating the arrival of the bike and all of that. I definitely just, it felt good. So with that, I'm gonna get ready to cook dinner and close out this vlog. So if you like this video or this week's episode, whatever you want to call it, please give this video a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, make sure you do that. If you are not following me on Instagram, head over there, follow me as well. It is at Smarty Style. And if you have a Peloton bike, please, or you're on the Peloton app, really, just follow me over there. Same username at Smarty Style. And I will be sure to see you guys next week, probably just for a sit down video. I don't think that I'll vlog and upload a sit down at the same time. But if you have any specific questions about the Peloton bike, please put them in the description box, because that will kind of guide how and what I do in terms of, you know, sharing my experience with the bike. And if there's any other kind of videos or vlogs you want to see over the summer, let me know, because it'll probably be less teaching content, I think, even though I have plans to work on some things. But enough about that. Nice hanging out with you guys this week. I will be sure to see you next week. Until then, have a great day, evening, all of that.